You know, we can sit here and complain about baby mamas and complain about these hoes doing all of that, and we understand that they do that. I have very many videos on this platform. But when it comes to black men like Future that's out here reckless and doing everything, don't y'all know he make us look bad as a group? How many of you brothers out there don't exemplify situations like this? You say, well, it ain't me. I don't do that. But that is you. See, that's how people gonna look at you. And then when you get mad, when you get stereotyped, you get mad when people stereotype you. You see that? You get upset. You get upset. You get real upset. You get real angry. But you don't want to call Future out. You gotta call niggas like Future out. He's a deadbeat. He should be shamed for his behavior. He should be ostracized. And not only should he be ostracized, any of the women that give him a pass should be ostracized. Because you can't build black communities and black businesses and black families with niggas like Future. You cannot do it. Future is no future. And his son and the problems his son is having is just the point. He makes black men look bad. I don't care what you niggas have to say. It's a shame. It's a crying shame. It's sad for this man to be out here with all these damn kids and his son needs him. Your son got out of jail. You can't even see the boy coming out of jail. His mama don't want to let me see him. Why you got 35 kids then, nigga? You hopping from woman to woman, all in the child support cases and all this. You're doing this because you know you're reckless. You're a baby maker. You're not marrying none of these people. It's sad. And any of y'all that condone this, you guys are the simps. You guys are trash. Well, you hating on him. So you want to do what he doing? Then when you get hit for child support, then you want to be mad. Some of you niggas got to really start being honest about yourself, man. Like, for real. Anyway, man, I'm just really getting disgusted with you brothers out here just letting, you know, this go and defending guys like this. It just lets me know, like, some of y'all really wish that y'all could go out here and do what he do. Do you want kids everywhere? And you complain about these young black men when they become criminals in the black community. You complain about them when they become criminals. You complain about them. You complain about them all day. That's what you niggas do. That's what you niggas do. You will complain when, sisters, but you want, don't hate on Future. You a simp. Oh, they put Future on child support. Oh my God. So anyways, man, that's your boy O'Shea Dude Jackson. Like the bell, hit the bell, subscribe to your boy.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. That was from O'Shea Duke Jackson. That video was a few years ago, and it's crazy how it still applies. Crazy how it still applies. I hope everyone's having a good day. Hey, Cutting Edge, nice to see you. What you got your eyes out for? Haven't seen you in a bit. Where were you at when I was doing my other content? But yeah, I hope you're having a good day. And Happy New Year. I hope you had a good New Year. Did you do anything? Let me find some background music. There might be another one I want to play. Another video. But I might not. I'm eating some fruit, so sorry, guys. Yeah, this is an important topic that I want to talk about. And not even so much just on Future. That's why I said him and men like him. I really don't have much respect for men that operate that way. I really don't. So I want to talk about it. Where the heck? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Trying to find this music I want to play. You know what? We can rock out with this one. Come on, Sean.
Spicy chicken
Yes.
pizza is $9.99 when you mix and match. Or, you could just order it.
There we go. I'm vibing. O'Shea was speaking facts. He was definitely speaking facts in that video. I don't understand men that move that way. And then, like he said, those same men that move that way will turn around and be all up in arms when they gotta pay child support, when they don't really have too much say in, as far as what's going on in the home that the children are in, what rules they're gonna follow, stuff like that. And not because they're not with the mom, but because they're a absent father. There's plenty of fathers who are not with the mother or mothers of their children, but are active fathers. So I don't want anybody to get those two things mixed. I'm not saying that if you're not with the mom, you're a bad dad or a deadbeat dad. No. But I definitely think if you're an absent father, you're a deadbeat dad. I don't care if you send the money or not. I wouldn't care. And then you have the men that are of the mindset of they shouldn't have to fight for their children or rights to their children. And in a perfect world, that is true. No woman should be making a man jump through hoops or have them to the point where they need to take you to court in order to spend time with their children or their child. But that's not an and say F it. Those are your kids. And I think it's very important. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, y'all can. I think it's very important that children have both their mother and their father. I think that's very important. And I wouldn't care if the man dogged you out. The bigger picture is the children. And I think a lot of people forget that when they be all in their little feely feels. It's not about you. You know? Anyhow, so when I say men like Future, any race, that have multiple children, and I mean multiple children with multiple moms, different mothers, no real pure intention of um, marrying any of these women. And even if you're not the type that wants to get married, no real pure intention of actually, quote unquote, settling down in the home with the woman and the child or children. Send the money or whatever. And that's about it. Get them when you feel like it. If that. And then before I even get to my next part of what I'm talking about, think about how messed up that is for children to have siblings that they don't know or have little to no um, relationship with. And I think I'm going to do a live on Nick Cannon too in the near future because that's disgusting behavior as well. Men just be out here spreading your loins. And in Nick Cannon's case, he worked so much because I wouldn't call him a deadbeat, but he just worked so much. His time is spread thin like room temperature butter, which is not fair to children. But yeah, so you have all these kids talking about Future and men like him. Have all these children with different women spread all over. Some close in age, some not so much. Your absent father, definitely not consistent. But then in the same breath, will turn around and think that you got some type of rights to dictate how something is going to go down. And just being honest, it just does not work like that. You don't have the right to dictate what's going to go on in the home and how it's going down if you're not an active father. And even if you're an active father, there's only so much that, number one, that you're even privy to. And it's only but so much say so you have because you're not there. You know? So that's something to really keep in mind and take in consideration when you're out here making babies with people. This is a real world we live in. Once you and that woman that you have a child with are no longer together, whatever pool you had is not going to be the same. And that's regardless if y'all are still sleeping together or not. Because you got some sick behind men that they don't want to be with the mom and be in the home, raising the kid, doing the day by day. But they still want to stick their toe in the water. Thinking that because if they come over every now and again and drop off a little, that means that they get some type of rights over something. No. You don't. And the only real way to prevent a woman who is toxic from brainwashing your kid is for you to be there. And even if you're not with the mom, you have rights. A lot of men don't want to fight for their rights. And I can't stand someone that has the most to say while doing the least. It's so counterproductive. I know men who put themselves on child support in order to get certain rights set in stone that they have for the children, to the children. There's a lot of men that don't play no games about their kids, and I respect them. I don't respect childish men. That the level of which you're going to be a dad or a father and be in your child's life is determined on if you get in your way with the mom. I don't respect that. And then when it comes to women who are able to bounce back after having children and they're no longer with their kid's father, or in some women's cases, fathers. So then they meet somebody that's a good person, accepts the fact that they have a child or children that, are not theirs, and take that on, That's a blessing. Because there's a lot of men that are not beat for being a stepdad to somebody else's children. That is a tall task. That is a very tall task to ask a man, especially if the man don't already have kids of their own. Now, if they already have kids of their own, then it's like they might be like, okay, bump it. Let's Brady Bunch this thing. But, and we'll just use Sierra and Russell Wilson as an example. He didn't have any kids when they got together. And Sierra's son that she has with Future was 3 months. Very, very young. And I don't know if it's because, and it frustrates me when people call him a simp. That just lets me know the level of mental maturity. People that say that, it lets me know where they're at with it. And I say that with also understanding that that is a tall task to ask of somebody, because there's so many different variables that come with that, depending on the situation. The greatest thing a father can do for his children is to respect the woman that gave birth to his child. And that's at the minimum. Even if you don't have to be with somebody just because you have a child with them. Like, this is not back in the day. But damn, why would anybody want anyone that they have a kid with to beat her up? Is besides me. You may have an ex-wife or an ex-husband, but you can never have ex-children. Exactly. And I don't respect Brian McKnight, but that's a whole nother conversation. He's pathetic. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, so it is a very tall task to ask somebody to come into a situation where there's already a child or children and take that on. Like, fully take that on. But you got some stepdads that ain't shit. I'm saying when you have dads that ain't shit. Interesting. If you love your child more than you hate your ex, you can solve most co-parenting problems. Exactly. And the way they have things these days, especially if you're somebody that has money, you can get a mediator to where you don't even have to deal directly with the the other parent if it's y'all just can't get along. But yes, I don't know if it's because of Russell Wilson's religious background or what. Now I know that he was married once before. I don't know to who, some white woman. And I'm not sure how long that lasted, but I think that was done early on in his career. So I know he's been married before. He got with Sierra, but he didn't have any children. And some men just know what they want, the same way some women know what they want. Once you lived a little bit, and in some cases, without even having too much lived experience, people just know what they want, you know? And obviously, he felt like he was ready and able to take that on. And he did take that on fully. And he got a lot of slack for that. And Future is very disrespectful when he should be very appreciative towards that man. Because he treats that boy like he's his. Before they had their own kids and after they've had their own kids. Because they done had a few kids together. And then I just found out not too long ago, which I believe they did it maybe over a year ago. But they were out and about somewheres. He said, oh no, thank God. I don't have that issue. But this is just a really good conversation to be had because it happens. Whether we're talking about famous people or Joe and Jane up the street. I had just found out recently that whenever they did it, Sierra changed the boy's last name. I think, because I know you cat, so I ain't worried about that. What was I gonna say? Yeah, she changed his last name so that way they can all have the same last name. And I think she made Future's last name be like a middle name because it's not even hyphenated. And that just goes to show how absentee he really is because they don't just allow you to change a name once the birth certificate was already signed and the name. The father has to give permission for that. Now, I understand different states do different things, but so in order to get that without his permission, because I'm pretty sure he didn't give his permission for that, she would have had to go in there and prove that he has been absentee out that boy's life for a long period of time. I heard your mom's etiquette premiere too. Interesting it was. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, got a lot of slack for that. But this man with money to fight for his rights didn't fight for nothing. He felt, so many ways about Russell being around his son when he started dating Sierra. Felt a type of way about people calling him his son, them being out in pictures and blah blah blah. Dude, what amount of time were you spending with your son, or any of your kids for that matter? Because that clip I played was a few years ago, and O'Shea was talking about Future's oldest son. He had got a gun charge at that time. Where were you at? You said Question is, mods required when no trolls or F-ish is gone. Would you remove mod JP? I'm not understanding the question. Oh yeah, like I think you might not. It really just depends on how large your page is. I'm getting your question out. I guess it really depends on how large of a page you have, that type of activity that you have going on. Like if you have a smaller page, you probably only need about 1 or 2 mods, if that. Because if you're paying attention to your stuff, it really just depends on what you're doing. Because anybody can pop out the woodwork at any time and be on some mess. I think it was only one time somebody came in here trolling me, and luckily, my bro Ham, CP3 was in here, so I don't really have those issues, thank God. But it happens because people just choose to do odd things with their time. But I have good mods, so I don't have an issue with none of my mods. Y'all just be busy. Y'all either be busy, or if I'm going live, y'all might already be in someone else's live. Because everyone loves the mess. So when you're talking about things that are not mess related, people don't really care for that. But I care for it, so that's why I do it, Anywho, I really feel like Future, no, that's fine, but if I'm not gonna not support one of my people to be where the mess is, if they're doing positive content, you know? But I understand because everybody has the right to do what they want to do. So men like Future, he just really got the game messed up. They really have the game messed up. And then to turn around and call yourself wanting to make life for that woman harder than what it needs to be, and then completely disrespecting or not having no regard for the person that is there doing your job, basically. Now, I'm not talking about the men who do what they're supposed to do for their children, even though they're not with the mom. And there happens to just be a stepdad there as well, because then that's a plus plus for the child. I'm talking about the ones that are deadbeats. They're not consistent at all in that child's life. They don't help consistently. They really should be taking that other man out for some drinks or something. The same way, women who are not with the father of their children, if they move on and they get with somebody who's a good person, who treats your child well and cares for your child like their own, that's a plus plus. That's a win-win. I'm likely to pay for you to get your nails done or something. Because the goal should be to have the best upbringing for the child or children possible. You know? That should be the ultimate goal when you have children. You shouldn't be hyper focused on what that person is doing, who they're doing it with, whoop-de-doo, none of that mess. As long as it's nothing that's going to negatively impact or affect the child. And when you're out here navigating and dating people, you really need to use your discernment when it comes to getting someone pregnant, or if you're a woman, allowing someone to get you pregnant. That same money that will pay for that abortion or that next day poo will pay for some birth control and some condoms of a good quality. Don't go get no cheap ones. Don't be using little old ones that's in your drawer or your wallet for months and months. Okay? I seen this one commercial back in the day. You know, matter of fact, no, it wasn't commercial. I think it was like something like a meme somebody made, but they took a picture that was in a grocery store. And it had baby diapers right next to condoms. And then it said in the middle was like a little thing that said, now which would you rather buy? Which would you rather buy? Some of these men have a lot of nerve and gall and audacity to think that you're going to just be out here making babies, quote unquote, breaking homes intentionally, right? And then think that you're running something when you're not there, whether that's you not there in the home with that mom and them children as a family, or you're not there co-parenting properly. You don't get no say in nothing too much, especially if you're not going to go and fight for your rights. It just doesn't work like that. Now, if you're there, that's a different story, like I said. But I don't think people have honest conversations about this. It's very important for fathers to be in the home. Be in the home, be around enough to where you have an impact. Like I said, so that way there's no room for no type of quote unquote brainwashing of the child. You're there to leave your mark. If you don't agree with something or you're not feeling something, you're there to let it be known and to do something about it. If little Johnny or little Jimmy is chubby, you're there to make sure that he's not eating all the snacks in the world. When he should be eating some fruit or something. You're there to put him in sports. You're there to put him in sports. You're there to go to the practices, to be at those games, those award ceremonies. And if you're not going to be there, don't be mad when Charlie's there. Do not be mad when Charlie's there. Something that really interested me. Don't be mad if little Jimmy there too. You know what I'm saying? Men need to know this. If you're not there and the mom is worth a damn, somebody's gonna be there. Hey F&M, best believe that. The show goes on. The question is, are you gonna just be a bystander in your own kid's life? While Charlie over there making decisions you should be making? And now you mad? Men gotta tighten up. Can't expect to be given all the respect in the world when you don't even respect your children. I don't respect any man that don't do for his kids properly and consistently. And I feel like that really has a negative impact on a child's life. It can, if the father is not there. And then you say, thank God for men like Russell Wilson, who didn't have any children when he got in that situation, who was able and willing to step in. There's nothing simp-like about that to me. Because not only did he step in, they're happy. She gave him his children. I feel like every time I turn around, she's pregnant. And they can say what they want about Sierra, but that's called growth. If you're used to dating a certain type of man or have a certain type, and then there's a pattern of a certain outcome with those certain types of men, and then you have your first child and get done that way, it's a part of growth to be able to have the ability to take a step back, reflect, and say, whoa, this ain't working. Something has to give. And clarity hit her, and she knew something had to give, and she had to change up how she moved and certain decisions she made. And that's why it's very important when you pray, it's very important to not just pray, but be specific about what it is you're praying for. So I tip my hat to men like Russell Wilson. And I have no respect for men like Future. Those type of men need to get spaded or fixed. They don't need to have any more children. And that is a perfect example of when you walk into a situation with somebody that has multiple baby moms, mothers to their children, and for whatever reason you think you're different or you can fix that person. Because Sierra realized she wasn't. He had 3 before he got with her. And now he has more than 3. He has about like 6, 7, 8 kids. But that's just a part of living and growing you know? And I don't think there's anything simp like about that. I think the real simp is the man that don't take care of his kids, who's not active in their kid's life, and then gotta sit and watch idly by while another man is doing all the things you should be doing and getting all the praise for it. That's the real simp like behavior. My new year was fun. I hope everyone had a blessed new year and all of 2026 is filled with blessing. Definitely. Definitely going to claim that. I appreciate everyone that came and everyone that's going to watch the replay. This is a very important topic. Because Whitney say, the children are the future. Ain't they? I'm out of here. Thank you. I hope you all have a great day. Bye.